What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Shameless Watch Collector. We have a special one here today, ladies and gents. We spend a lot of time on this channel looking at Chinese watches, mostly from AliExpress, and the focus is usually on the most watch for the least money. So it's not often that we venture over to the true luxury end of Chinese watchmaking. Stuff like San Martin and Chronos is often the tip of the iceberg. And a lot of that is because companies like those two are already delivering materials and craftsmanship that get shockingly close to the big luxury brands. But what if I told you that there was a step up from there? One where the value is still ridiculous, but now we're talking a company chasing something more ambitious. Stuff like original design, a beautifully decorated mechanical movement that was developed in-house, and a watch that is built around a complication that actually feels important to the identity of the piece. Yup, buckle up, because this one is wild. It's time for the AGELOCER Moonphase Astronomer in-depth review. Let's get into it. As always, let's start this video by talking about who AGELOCER is and how I got this incredible piece of artwork that they call a watch. And I think I'm saying that right. I saw other videos call it AGELOCER. I've also seen AGELOCER, but I think AGELOCER sounds the coolest. Let me know if you know in the comments though. And let me start by also saying that I obviously, as you can tell from there, had no idea who AGELOCER was until they popped up in my inbox. Let me know in the comments if you already knew who they were. But once I started looking into them, it became pretty clear AGELOCER is not trying to be just another AliExpress value brand. This is a younger Chinese brand aiming much higher, with a big emphasis on original design, elevated finishing, and premium mechanical watchmaking. They also tie themselves to Swiss design expertise through their design leadership, and that absolutely shows in the way that their watches look. These do not feel like homage first watches. They feel like a company trying to build its own identity. And that's really important here, because while you can find some of the more cheap AGELOCER watches on like AliExpress, their premium pieces are clearly trying to play in a different lane than the usual brands that we talk about on this channel. They are not trying to be San Martin or Chronos, not at all. And don't get me wrong, I know that there are some very high-end Chinese brands out there doing unbelievable work, ones like Shanghai. But a lot of those pieces are priced accordingly too, with watches in the 4 figures or more sometimes. AGELOCER sits in a really interesting middle ground, and we'll talk specifics in the price section. Their catalog is pretty huge, and I got pretty overwhelmed browsing it, so I sent them a handful of my favorites and I let them choose. They picked this one for me, which they called a Major Breakthrough 29.51 Days Moonphase Original Astronomer Mechanical Watch, which is not a mouthful in the slightest. Don't worry though, we will get into what that name means later. When I saw the price on this watch, my jaw hit the floor. This would be one of the most expensive watches in my collection. So I quickly said yes, and eagerly waited for the watch I've easily been the most curious about since I started this channel to arrive. But I really do not think anything could have prepared me for what showed up. Let's get into the review. As always, we'll start with dimensions. The size of this watch is 40mm in diameter, 47 lug to lug, and a case that is listed at just over 10.6mm thick. Using my electronic caliper, I measured it at 11.5mm thick with the crystal, and the 40mm diameter was spot on, down to the decimal. So much of the front of this watch is dial, with almost none of it being bezel. It looks absolutely incredible, and gives this massive moon and otherwise restrained dial a ton of room to breathe. I will say, with the price of this watch, and just how expensive it looks, this is easily the one I am the most nervous about when it's on my wrist. You might have heard me say before in this channel that I'm one of those people that wears a watch literally always, including around the house. Not this one though. This one only sees my wrist on special occasions when I'm out and about, and a big reason for that is just how badly I do not want to hit it on anything. So I'm glad it's not any bigger. I don't think I can handle the stress. But I'm also glad it's not any smaller than it is, because a moon that size needs its space. With the strap, this watch comes in at only 76 grams, so it feels exceptional on the wrist, very comfortable in every way. Let's go ahead and move on to materials and craftsmanship. Get comfy, my friends, we're going to be in this section for a while. Pretty much everything about this watch blew me away, but I think the materials were where I was most impressed. As always, we're going to focus on the case and bracelet materials here, and leave the crystal and lume for the dial section. Starting with the case, this is a full 316L stainless steel, with what may be the best brush to polish transitions I have ever seen. The bezel specifically, with its polished edges and brushed face, then seamlessly flowing into the sides of the case, oh, this looks incredible. And the transitions are flawless, meticulous. These are the small design choices that make a watch look proper. This is also the least harsh execution of 316L steel I have ever felt on a watch, and it's really not even close. There is not a single angle on this thing that feels even remotely uncomfortable. Speaking of that beautifully finished steel, you may have noticed that I have two different straps on this watch in the photos. When AGELOCER offered me this watch, I liked the silver strap it came on, but I just also could not get enough of how good it looked with their stainless steel bracelet option. So I asked if they'd be willing to ship me the watch with the stainless steel bracelet instead, and they basically emailed me and said, nah, we'll just give you both. These guys rock. So we have two straps to review here, and let's start with the silver leather one. If you want to buy the strap by itself, it's expensive, like $200, which sounded crazy to me at first. It's not. My gosh, this thing is nice. It embarrasses every other leather strap I've gotten to handle. This is cowhide leather with an alligator texture, and the silver perfectly complements the look of this watch. It also comes in green or black, which look great too. It's so soft, smells like a new car, and matches the premium feel of the rest of the watch perfectly. Obviously also get quick release here, and I was honestly sad taking it off. But then I put on the stainless steel bracelet. Just when I thought it couldn't get any better. This laughs in the face of anything I own from AliExpress. Calling it soft would be like calling a Rolex kind of expensive. That much of an understatement. The best way I can describe it is it feels like it's coated in lotion, but somehow isn't slippery, if that makes sense. There isn't a single thing here though that even hints at a sharp edge. And hair pulling? Huh, that's funny. This is the only watch I've ever put on where the stainless steel bracelet isn't less comfortable or just more bothersome in general than the leather strap is. It's a butterfly clasp with a push button, so no micro adjusting is possible here. But it wasn't an issue for me to find the perfect fit since the links are pretty small. Inside the clasp, you'll find AGELOCER printed on both sides, which is a nice detail. But what I absolutely adore is how they split their flower logo in half across the clasp sides. So when you close it, it becomes the full logo. So cool. Adjusting the links was just about as fun as bracelets this style ever are, which is to say, not very. And installing a steel bracelet on a watch that's expensive with curved end links, oh, it's not for the faint of heart either. But they look too good not to use, but boy was I nervous. I cannot wait until I'm good at that. But it was worth the scary install. I mean, just look at this thing on the bracelet. Oh, I love it. And the fact that it feels as good on wrist as it looks seems almost unfair. Getting 50 meters of water resistance here too, which I think is plenty. I do not intend on swimming with this watch. And interestingly, you get a push-pull crown. Normally, I do think I'd care more about that on a watch like this, but I just really don't. This is not pretending to be a dive watch. This is a dressier, more artistic piece. And the crown action still feels smooth and refined, so it just isn't bothering me. You do get a screw-in exhibition case back, and just like the front of the watch, this thing has a giant viewing window. And I'm glad it does, because this movement is just as pretty as the front of the watch is. And speaking of that movement, let's go ahead and get into that category. This is easily going to be the most time that we've ever spent on this category in a review, and this watch deserves every second of it. This is normally where I do my, yep, it's an NH35 or a Miyota 8215, it hacks and winds, moving on, routine, but not here. AGELOCER uses their caliber A4610 automatic movement in this one, and it has 27 joules, an 80-hour power reserve, and so much more effort put into the presentation than what we are used to seeing on this channel. Even before we talk about the moonphase complication, this movement is clearly meant to be part of the experience. It's not hidden away, and it's not treated like some generic engine just there to keep the hands moving. AGELOCER took the time to decorate this thing properly, and through the case back, you see the rhodium plating, the polished chamfers, brushed surfaces, Geneva striping, sunburst finishing, blue screws, polished screw heads, and gold engraved text. They spent as much time designing this as they did the dial. And I'm so glad they went with the transparent case back and also took the time to make the movement worthy of that giant window. And then there's the actual performance side of it. An 80-hour power reserve at this price is serious and pretty uncommon. That means you can wear this thing on Friday, take it off for most of the weekend, come back to it, and there's a good chance that it's still running. That alone makes it feel far more premium in day-to-day ownership than the usual 40-ish hour stuff that we're used to here. But let's get to the real star of the show, the moonphase complication. This is where the major breakthrough 29.51 days name comes into play. A traditional moonphase display uses a 59-tooth disc that advances once every 24 hours, which gives you a 29.5 day cycle. It works, it looks cool, and this is what most brands stop at. AGELOCER wanted to go further. What they've done here is develop a moonphase system built around a 31-tooth disc that advances every 22.846 hours, which allows the display to complete a 29.51 day cycle. Since the actual month is about 29.53 days, the whole point here is better long-term accuracy than a traditional moonphase setup. That is super cool stuff. This complication is central to what makes this watch special. It's the identity of the piece. AGELOCER built this watch around the moon, and you can feel that in every part of the design. The only place where the movement falls just a little bit short of feeling fully luxury to me is once again rotor noise. This rotor definitely likes to spin, and you can hear it more than I'd ideally want to on a watch this elegant. Something close to like a Miyota 8215. But honestly, it's a very small complaint when everything else about this movement feels so amazing. Overall, this is where the watch really starts to separate itself from everything else. Movement is the category where this thing really starts to feel like a genuine step into a more premium world within watches. Now let's talk dial and design. For such an overall minimalist looking dial, there is a lot going on here. I guess let's start with what you guys have probably been staring at this entire video, that big ass moon. I challenge you to find another moonphase watch with a bigger moon that still looks tasteful. But this 1:1 scale moon is not just a flashy design element for aesthetics. It's a huge part of why this watch is called the major breakthrough, and what really lets that moonphase system shine. The oversized moonphase, along with the lower inner track, lets this watch show the waxing and waning of the moon in a much more dramatic and detailed way than the usual tiny moonphase window, and it also looks incredible. In the light, the moon is absolutely the star of the show. The craters have ridiculous depth and detail. The mix of silver and white is gorgeous, and the silver especially elevates the whole dial. It catches the light beautifully and makes this entire watch feel even more expensive. But the white portions are not just white paint. Turn the lights out, and you'll see it's actually super luminova, and the moon is the only place on this watch where you'll find it. I love so much when a brand puts the lume on the moon on a moonphase watch. That is one of the things I am such a sucker for, and I'm so glad they did it here. It looks incredible, and I really don't even need lume anywhere else on this watch. On the rest of the dial, you basically have 3 layers. On the bottom, you have the lightest gray you'll find, with a subtle texture and gradient. This is also the layer where the moon lives. Above that, there's a slightly darker gray, smaller circle above 6 o'clock, where you'll find that same tasteful texture and gradient effect. This is also where the text in the dial can be found. AGELOCER up top, and below it, a word that not many other Chinese watch companies get to ever say: original. And above everything, about the same distance that inner circle is raised above the bottom layer, is the outer ring, and yet another shade of silver along with polished minute indices. And somehow, even with 50 different shades of gray, everything works beautifully together here. I think the layering is doing this watch a lot of favors too. It makes everything feel richer, and it makes the moon look even more three-dimensional than it already does. Polished details work harmoniously with the case and bracelet, including the hands. But one thing that you will not find anywhere in this watch is a seconds hand, which I personally would have liked. I'm assuming that has something to do with the overall movement layout and keeping the dial as clean as possible and as moon focused as possible. But I do always love a nice sweeping seconds hand with my mechanical watches. Other small design details that I enjoy on this watch are the flower logo engraved on the crown, the clasp design details that I mentioned before, and the writing along the case back. Covering the front of this dial is sapphire crystal with AR coating, and it looks crystal clear. This is one of the best looking sapphire crystals I have ever seen, and it only elevates the dial even more. And one of my favorite things about this watch, you get the same treatment on the back. The movement is being shown through sapphire crystal as well, and that is a detail that gets skipped far too often by other brands. I don't think any photo or video that you find online or that I took here can truly do this watch justice. It really needs to be seen in person to be fully appreciated. Well, it's time for the category that I'm sure a lot of you guys have been eagerly waiting for: price and value. You can find this watch on the AGELOCER website for $599 on the leather strap and a bit more on the stainless steel bracelet, I believe $615. That makes this, by quite a margin, the most expensive watch we've ever reviewed on here, and more expensive than about 99% of the watches that I normally talk about on this channel. Oh wow, this watch really did teach me the difference between $300 and $600. When I was offered this watch by AGELOCER for free, I mostly thought of it as a great opportunity to review something unique on my channel, which I was right about, and to get my hands on a watch that I probably would not have spent the money on myself. That, I was wrong about. AliExpress watches have kind of jaded me a little in a few ways. Sometimes I forget that there's this whole level in between the upper echelon of AliExpress value brands and the Tudors and Tag Heuers of the world. And this is it. I'd never thought I would be on this channel calling a $599 watch great value, but here I am. Just like most other great Chinese watches, the price feels like less than what you get, because what you get here is quite impressive. A truly memorable, original design, a moonphase display that is a centerpiece of the entire watch, a decorated, in-house developed movement that is so great to look at, exceptional finishing, a stupidly comfortable strap and bracelet, and a watch that feels genuinely different from everything else around it. The time has come. Let's assign this watch its final grade. This was not easy, and I've gone back and forth on this. The AGELOCER Astronomer Moonphase gets an A. This watch is just too good, too far above everything else I've reviewed for it not to earn this grade. And this is the closest to an A+ that an A has ever been on this channel. I'm talking that if an A+ is a 99% and above, this watch got a 98%. Because the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I need to grade this watch on objective value, not what $600 means to me personally. Because if you're somebody with a $600 budget looking for a new watch, this is where I would point you. I really can't think of any other brands where you'll find this much originality, this much visual drama, this much comfort, and this much effort put into making the movement and complication feel like the centerpiece of the watch. Sure, you can go to AliExpress and find more water resistance and a screw-down crown, but good luck finding original design anywhere close to this level. Good luck finding a moonphase execution this original. Good luck finding a watch that feels this cohesive with this much attention to detail. Microbrands can absolutely give you an original design this strong. Some of them can compete with materials like this. Some of them can even compete with the in-house movements like this. But good luck spending $600 on that. Good luck spending less than double on that. This is a special watch. This is one you can wear anywhere, besides scuba diving, around anyone, and earn compliments and interest. This could be the centerpiece of your collection, and people will be jealous you found it first when you show it to them. I truly cannot believe how good this watch is. And just to confirm with all you, AGELOCER did give me this watch for free, but I had zero restrictions on what I could talk about. I actually, this is totally true, signed a contract from them that obligated me to be entirely transparent during this review. I quite literally, legally cannot be anything but honest here. I'll leave this watch linked in the description below, along with a $20 discount code. The link in the description is not an affiliate link, which means I don't earn anything if you guys purchase it, which I don't care about. I was just too excited to show you guys this one. And if you do want to support me, just like, comment, and subscribe. And we also do have another product to look at now. Another watch winder, because that is straight where this thing is going. As you guys know, I love putting my moonphase watches in my watch winder so I can really get to enjoy the full cycle of that moonphase complication. And a company called Dukwin recently reached out to the channel and provided us with a new watch winder. This one is actually quite a bit different than the last one you guys may have seen on this channel. So I'm excited to show it to you guys along with the unboxing video, and we'll watch it do its thing with this very watch here. So I will go ahead and hand it on over to future Shameless. Alright guys, so we got our second watch winder for this channel. This one is from Dukwin. Some of you may remember, if you check out the 1,000 subscriber special video, that is when we got our first watch winder given to us from a different company. But you can see the review of that one if you want to compare and contrast from this one. But one thing I will say right away for Dukwin specifically is this presentation is far different. The last one was like in a bag or something, like just like a casual, just a cloth bag. This is like a very nice box, like something that you'd find like a luxury watch in. So excited to get into this one. So here we go. This is going to be just another single watch winder. And I know we just finished the review for this baby right here, so this is what is going to be going into this winder. Yes. So yeah, I did choose this color. They gave me a few choices, but I don't know. I just thought this orangish would be different. Oh, that's cool. So that's like kind of opens like that. And then you see the padding there, but I know you guys want to see the winder. There she is. A lot smaller. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, I think I prefer this size. It's just very compact. I like this so far. Very similar in a lot of ways, but very robust feeling. All right, and so here we go. And yeah, I have noticed my voice is like cracking here. I do apologize. That's what happens after I record a script. All right, so here we go. So I'm assuming this is another screw off like the last winder is. Always, yep, nice and simple. There we go. And I did look at this in the instruction manual, so it looks stupid. This one is like a pull out. And these sides here are kind of interesting, it seems. But yeah, there we go. So it pulls right out. And this is where the watch is going to go. And then you see this, and I think this is, yeah, there it is. That goes in and out. That way you don't have to worry about whether it's a stainless steel bracelet or a leather strap, where I think you have more flexibility. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and put this one on it. And then, we'll go all the way around here. And so I'm just going to try to make it, I know for a watch winder you want it as snug as possible, so I'm probably going to just push it in, I think, and then very ungracefully tighten that and then let it pull back out as far as it wants to. There we go. Okay, that looks good. All right, so I'm assuming just obviously the way it went in will just, oh wow, that clicked in very snugly, very nicely. Yeah, okay, perfect. Cool. So we'll just go ahead and screw that back on. That was easy. Oh man, it looks so cool. So again, like the reason why I love a moon phase in here is like you want the cycle of the moon. You want to set it one time and then you want to get to enjoy that full moon phase movement. And you know, I have way too many watches, so it's not often for me to wear an automatic watch enough times to where it won't stop working, right? Even with the 80-hour power reserve on this one. So what I love so much about a moon phase is you really get to enjoy that full movement. I actually keep these on my side table next to my bed, so I don't know, something about it, I just love it. Alright, so apparently my mic randomly died here, so this is future Shameless, gonna walk you through what I was talking about here. So right now I'm talking about the two ports. On the far right, you have the out port, and that's if you want to connect it to another watch winder, if you don't want to use two outlets. And then on the left, you do have the in, which is for the power to plug it in, but now here you have the battery slot, so you can use two AA batteries to power this winder if you don't want to leave it plugged in all the time, which can be annoying, depending on where you keep it, so that's a nice option to always have. But here I'm going to just plug it in on the far left slot, but real quick too, I'm going to show you the TPD on the right turn thing there, and that is the turns per day. For the watch I'm putting in, that'll be the lowest setting, and then on the left knob there, that is going to be the direction. You have clockwise, counterclockwise, and then rotating. I'm going to be doing the rotating one. So plugged in, and there it is. There is the watch winder, the Dukwin Watch Winder, doing its thing with that amazing watch looking beautiful inside of it. Overall, I would recommend this watch winder here. It's $99 from the Dukwin store, and I will include a discount code in the description. Do like the smaller size of this one compared to the other winder I was given. I don't think bigger means better when it comes to winders, especially if you like to keep them on your like nightstand like I do. I think it's nice to have smaller ones because the intention is to stack them. This one is very quality. The leather feels wonderful. It looks extremely high quality. I chose the orange, which is definitely the latter of all the options, but there's definitely some more tasteful and elegant ones like black and brown. Thank you to Dukwin for providing this winder to the channel, and I can tell you now that this is my second winder. This is an investment I would actually very much recommend. It's awesome to have. Keep your favorite automatic watch always ready to go. The fact that companies like this are making them so accessible is awesome, because this is still very high quality for under $100 is pretty crazy. Thank you guys so much for watching yet another watch review. It's been so much fun and such a privilege getting my hands on all these amazing watches, and this one really felt like a step up for the channel, and I'm just so grateful that I got to show it to you guys, and I can't thank you all enough for making reviews like this possible. The AGELOCER watch, as well as the Dukwin Watch Winder, are linked in the description below, along with the respective discount codes. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget, we'll be giving away another watch at 5,000 subscribers, which seems like it's just around the corner. Get ready for a lot more videos coming soon. We still got the rest of the Amazon Mount Rushmore to finish off, as well as some really exciting watch reviews, ones kind of like this. But for now, Shameless Watch Collector, signing off. And always remember, it's not that serious.